So today I wanted to invite you on, Ali, because so you became a client in 2018, didn't you?
Oh, has it been
And
that long?
yeah,
Feels
20,
like, actually feels like longer.
I'm sure you mean that in the nicest possible way.
Yeah, obviously, obviously.
But you initially came to me for laser hair removal, didn't you?
I did. Typical pale skinned, dark haired, and I was just getting really annoyed with shaving pretty much every day. And luckily stumbled across you and started my laser journey.
You are a laser girl's dream because being so pale skinned and dark haired, you're the kind of people we dream about coming through the door. So that's not to say, of course, I can't treat other skin types and hair colors because obviously here I have like quite an array of lasers and IPLs, but you are the archetypal, sort of ideal candidate for laser.
Well, it's definitely worked on me, hasn't it? So
It has indeed.
I've raved about it. As I've
Yeah.
said to you before many a time, it's been the best investment I've made for myself. I know that sounds probably a bit wanky, excuse the language, but yeah, it's been a life changer for me, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you're very sporty, aren't you? So
Mm.
it's just nice to not have to kind of think about, oh, can I go swimming or can I go running, etc. So
Yeah.
yeah. And then you very quickly discovered the magic that is laser and LED treatments for your skin, didn't you?
Yeah, I pretty much think I've done most things at your practice now. But I've
You
just
haven't had
fallen
the
in love.
Onda though, have you?
Not
Not yet.
yet, but that's my next thing on the list. My God, I need those love handles working on. So,
So
um,
anyone who doesn't know, the Onda is for fat cellulite and skin tightening, which I actually took delivery of about 2 weeks before the March lockdown. Great timing. But having said that, it's amazing because I think everyone's kind of overindulged, haven't they, as a result of lockdown. So yeah, I'll be here armed with my microwaves. So
I'm booking in straight away then.
come on in. But yeah, tell us a bit about your skin because you are kind of the sort of typical client who maybe initially thought that laser treatment was predominantly for hair removal,
Mhm.
and then you sort of quite quickly started getting into the skin treatment side of things. So
Yeah,
dare
I
I ask
hadn't.
how, am I allowed to ask how old you are?
Oh God. Yeah, of course you are. I just turned 40 last week or the week before. It's a whole blur because I've obviously had so much champagne. I made the most of the week basically. But yeah, I've just turned 40. My skincare history hasn't been that fabulous. I got into looking after my skin quite late in life. I'm an old horsey girl, if you want to refer to me as that. That's an awful saying, isn't it? But spent a lot of time outside, didn't cleanse, tone, moisturize, didn't put sun cream on, just really didn't take care of my skin at all. And when I came to you, obviously we were initially just doing hair removal, and then you started talking about the benefits of the LED phototherapy. And my skin, gosh, how would I describe it? It was just a mess, really, wasn't it? A lot of
What would
redness.
Yeah, because we started off doing laser on your
Mm.
skin.
Yeah, so I
And
had what was it called? Thread vein removal, didn't I?
yeah, that's right.
So initially I had I thought it was a birthmark, but it was up in this area here by my eye, wasn't it? And you said, oh no, that's just a burst blood vessel. We can sort that out
Yeah.
easily. So you got going on that, which you loved. I can't say I enjoyed it quite as much.
So just to
But it's
clarify,
incredible. The results are incredible. You wouldn't even. I've got a tiny little dot there now, so I need to have probably another follow up. But that went, and then I kind of thought, oh my God, if laser can do something as simple as that, then why don't I kind of just get my whole face done. So you recommended another treatment for me, which was the LED phototherapy, and I have just fallen in love with that. It's the only thing you do which doesn't hurt to start with. Um,
No
so
gain, no gain, Ali.
yeah, sorry everyone, but it's true. But yeah, it's just the most relaxing treatment I've ever had. Do you want to talk about it quickly, what it is and what it does?
So basically, you know, the reason I wanted to get you on this evening is because you are absolutely classic in terms of, you initially come, you know, a lot of people have heard of laser for hair removal, and then, you know, you're at that age where, you know, you're starting to think about, you know, your skin, and also at the age where, because, you know, I'm going to be 48 in June. You were 40.
You're not. Don't be so ridiculous.
You were 40 a week ago, but at the end of the day, we used to run around as kids with no sun cream on, you know. In fact, you know, in the 70s when I was young, I mean, I don't think there was sun cream, you know, there was like kind of coconut oil to, you know, just to really fry your skin. And so it's quite, you know, I get quite a lot of sort of girls, ladies who come through the door at this, you know, sort of, you know, mid 30s, sort of 40s, who are really starting to think about their skin. And the thing is, there are lasers to treat sort of pretty much most sort of skin concerns, whether it's broken veins, whether it's, you know, sunspots. And we can just do that. We can literally, like, you know, the vessel that you had there, we can get rid of the vessel, we can get rid of, you know, sunspots. But the thing with lasers and LED is that when you apply certain wavelengths to the skin, stuff happens basically. And it's not just about getting rid of a vein or getting rid of a sunspot. It's about really dealing with getting your skin health to the best possible version that it can be. Because so in the early days, you know, when I started out in sort of 2004, 2005, you know, I've got very early pictures of sort of, you know, before and afters of thread veins, and you can see the before and after. So the veins have like vanished, amazing, but the skin quality was just unbelievable. And I was actually, you don't believe this, because I've been looking at this picture since, you know, 2006, 2007, but I only actually noticed the other day, because I've always been focused on the cheek so much, and also there was a vein here that normally shouldn't go because it was the wrong color and there's a different laser that's required, but it actually went anyway. So I've always been concerned with that. But I noticed that the large pores around her nose, because obviously we're treating veins, and the crease here is, you know, they're almost like kind of vanished. And although it's not, you know, IPL, I wouldn't say is the go-to treatment for pores. You know, I would do something like fractional skin resurfacing. It's amazing what's possible. By the way. It's another treatment that's not particularly comfortable, but the results are amazing.
Okay, another one for me to try.
So the kind of approach I take with clients is very much, you know, I'm not gonna make you look like a Hollywood supermodel. I'm not gonna make you even look like your best friend, but the key here is to get your skin to the best possible, you know, healthiest version that your skin can be. And to do that, we use basically a mixture of sort of laser and LED. And obviously tonight, mainly I wanted to talk about Dermalux and the Home Flex as well. But the thing with light, you know, you do, to get the best results, you do kind of mix laser and LED, which is exactly what you ended up doing.
Yeah. And
now you're actually using the Flex at home as well.
Yeah.
So can you tell me, just apart from the actual veins that we zapped and, you know, bits and pieces, can you talk to me a little bit about your sort of skin quality, you know, how that changed, what you saw, you know, sort of what was the biggest thing for you?
I feel like I just had a very dull complexion. I suffered from redness, and I actually thought it was rosacea, but you told me it wasn't. But I just feel a lot brighter. I feel more youthful in terms of my skin tone generally. What I would say is, you know, I have matched this with a skincare routine as well, which works for me. But I've actually left the house now. I used to put makeup on every time I left the house because I felt so conscious about just everything to do with my face and my skin. And now I'm quite happy leaving the house and actually feel confident not wearing any makeup, which is a massive thing for me. I just feel like the tone of my whole face has calmed down, and just the quality of my skin as well. It feels really soft, it feels plump, it feels elastic, and certainly all the kind of fine lines and stuff around my eyes I wouldn't notice are as visible.
Yeah.
I mean, so it is a change. It definitely is a change.
Yeah. And just for people watching, and by the way, if anyone wants to ask any questions, do sort of fire away. You don't have to wait till the end. But just to kind of go through what I did with Ali. So Ali was an absolute pleasure to treat, as are all my clients, to be honest.
I don't know whether I was all the time. I think I swore at you once.
Yeah, I have been sworn at in the past, but you know, it's all good stuff. So we have very soundproof walls here, so it's all good. But yeah, so you know, you were struggling with sort of, you know, dullness, and as we get older, you know, the upward movement through the skin, you know, sort of right down, sort of from the, you know, the bottom layers of the epidermis up through to the top. So the epidermis is like as thin as a piece of tissue, but there's sort of 7 different cell types within that. And so it normally takes about a month to kind of from the bottom to work upwards, right from the top layers, which basically slough off. But as we get older, it slows down, and that's why, you know, when a little kid cuts themselves, everything is faster when you're younger. You know, it heals really quickly, but things slow down as we get older. So when you do have any light-based treatments, it's really important to have some kind of resurfacer, like a glycolic wash, or I do something called a triacid peel in clinic as well, to really prepare the skin to receive the light treatment. And it was great because, you know, with a client like you who is on board and happy to have laser and LED, it's, you know, it's fantastic because I really can then, you know, I can know, right, which ones am I going to pick today out my toolbox to kind of, and that's the thing, you know, I kind of assess everyone on an individual basis. So for you, in your case, you know, you had a dull complexion, you had broken capillaries, you know, you had, in addition to the visible capillaries, you had sort of general redness as well. So, and that's where you can combine, you know, sort of laser and LED with peels to kind of get the maximum benefits. But I always say to you, you know, and the thing I love about you, Ali, is that you treat your skin health like you do the rest of your health, you know. And I was actually in the park a couple of hours ago with my daughter, speaking to a parent at school, and I was saying to her, you know, that your skin health is like the rest of your body. If you went to the gym, you know, twice a year, you cannot expect to have like an amazing gym body. And it's the same with skin. You know, what you do at home twice a day is absolutely key, because, you know, products you use, and then obviously, you know, in clinic treatments. But it's not just the financial commitment, it's a time commitment. And if you want your skin to look great, but also to be the healthiest possible version, because it's not just about, it will look good if it's healthy. And that's the thing. And that's the kind of way I try and speak to clients about skin. It's about protecting that microbiome that we have on our skin by not stripping it, by not using the wrong products, by not overdoing things, overusing retinol, over having, you know, peels. And so that as a result, if you get that right, your skin will look great. And as you say, you can then go out without makeup on.
Yeah, and like I said to you, I know that I was late to life with looking after my skin health. So I think I properly started thinking about, you know, doing a cleanser, toner and moisturizer every day. You're going to really tell me off about this, but maybe 5 years ago. It's terrible. But I found, you know, as I said, I found a product that I really like. That's Tropic. It works for me. It may not work for everyone. Everyone's skin is different. So, you know, you do have to shop around and see what works for you. And I have, and there's been products which have worked and products which haven't worked, but at the moment that works for me.
Yeah.
But also in conjunction with other stuff that I'm doing. So this little baby here, I absolutely adore.
You've got one of the Flex
I
machines.
have. Oh
So
my God. I wish I could get under it now, actually.
Well, so I wanted to talk a bit about Dermalux tonight because obviously you've had laser treatments, but you've also had quite a lot of Dermalux LED phototherapy. So once we sort of cleared your skin of sort of broken capillaries, the general redness is really best addressed with LED phototherapy. And so in clinic, I don't know if you can see this, but I've got the big sort of hood here.
That's
So
the all singing, all dancing version.
So this
isn't
is
it?
this is the so this is the Dermalux Tri-Wave, and this is the in-clinic Dermalux treatment. So Dermalux is basically, so when we talk about phototherapy, it's basically comes from the Greek. My late father would be so proud. He loves it when I get anything about being Greek in, because anyone who knows I'm half Greek. But yeah, phototherapy literally means therapy using light. So and it happens to use 3 different wavelengths that do sort of 3 quite different things. And sometimes people say to me, oh, well, are these masks you can buy on eBay or on Amazon any good? And unless they're a Dermalux, I would say, be very wary, because the thing I love about Dermalux, and like with any equipment I use in clinic, is that they had their machines independently tested, because it's not just a case of a blue light will kill acne, a sort of bacteria that causes acne, or a red light will treat pigmentation. It's the quality. So the reason that you can get a machine on eBay for 300 quid, as opposed to, other machines that cost either a couple of thousand or, several thousand, is to do with the quality of the photon. So that's the actual light particle. And for it to do certain things to the skin, it needs to be an absolute true wavelength that's tested. If it's like a few nanometers out, you're not going to get, necessarily get the same results, but it needs to be the right dosage as well. It's a bit like saying, I've got a horrendous headache and I'm going to take a paracetamol tablet and take a tiny bit of it, pop it in and expect my headache to go. It has to be in the right dose. Okay. And so with Dermalux, you get 3 different wavelengths to address various different skin concerns. And so it's absolutely fantastic for acne. It's amazing for redness. So like you had this sort of general redness in addition to the broken capillary. So a laser will literally get a vessel, it'll heat the blood, it'll get the blood to stick together in that vessel, and your body literally clears it away. When you have general kind of redness, you can get some results with laser, but really you need some LED lights for that. And so the great news is that they devised the Flex machine, which I just absolutely love, especially during lockdown, because clients like you have been able to actually use it at home and carry on your skin rejuvenation program. So tell me a bit about your Flex, because you've got it all assembled. I've actually got the one that's
maybe I should turn more lighting on, but it comes basically flat packed. It's really easy.
Yeah. This is the bag.
If I don't know whether you can see this, but that is basically the Flex. And you slot it in. It's as simple as that. And she says it's as simple as that, but she's just had 2 runs. So, of course, everything's more difficult. And yeah, you've just got your control unit and you can set what LEDs you want. So there's 3 options there, but I go for the full whammy. I go for all 3.
Yeah, brilliant. You don't tend to suffer with much acne though, do you?
No, I don't. I mean, I get spots, hormone spots, obviously around my time of the month. Really so I know, when it's that time, I get under there as much as possible.
Yeah. So I'm going to just try and go back here. So it basically slots into, there's a sort of a piece of plastic like that. But the actual LEDs, the reason it's called the Flex is because it literally flexes. So the LEDs are under here. and it literally bends like that, sits in that plastic sort of contraption I just showed you, and then you literally lie under it. It's great there as well, because if you get acne on your back, you can literally put it on your back as well. You can literally lie it on your skin on your back.
Well, and the other thing you told me, I burnt my hand on the oven the other day quite badly, and you instantly said to me, for God's sake, get it under that Flex immediately.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think I've done maybe 5 sessions under there, and
how's it
the
looking?
burn, it's gone. So it's
amazing.
Incredible.
It is amazing. And the thing is with Dermalux, so when certain wavelengths hit the skin, and anyone who's watched me before on sort of lives or webinars, you know, the way I explain it is there is literally, the minute these lights hit your skin, it's a bit like, you know, putting sunlight on a flower. Stuff happens, you know, as soon as you put light on a plant, there's sort of reactions that occur within the plant. And it's the same with our skin. You know, our skin is just like every other living organism. You know, it responds to light. It just does. And the minute these certain wavelengths, if they're at the right wavelength, at the right dose, as soon as they hit the skin, there is like a sort of a cascade of biological reactions that happen within the skin, and it can't not happen. Now, if you have relatively, you know, sort of in inverted commas, normal skin, I hate to use the word normal, but you know, no particular sort of issues, etc., you could have a Flex for a couple of weeks and you may not see a huge difference. But what's actually going on underneath, you know, the surface of your skin, in terms of the skin health, and so in terms of the hydration, in terms of the collagenesis, so the stimulating of collagen, is phenomenal. But if you were to give that same machine to someone who had, you know, very inflamed psoriasis or eczema, for example, for the same period of time, the before and afters are just unreal. And I don't know if I told you about this, Ali, but I had a clinic in Winchester, and that's when I discovered the Dermalux. And I had this old farmer who came to see me, lovely guy, and he had really bad psoriasis on his sort of lower back. And, you know, he was in his 70s. He couldn't have cared less about aesthetics or, you know, what his skin looked like, or, you know, or anything like that. And he actually said to me, I don't even care. You know, I can't even see it. It's on my back. He said, but it's so uncomfortable when I'm driving my tractor. Now, he came in, and after 2 sessions, the difference on his skin was unbelievable. And that is because when you are applying things like near infrared light, red light and blue light, you know, the stimulation that's occurring, you know, the stimulation of the blood flow, the bacteria, you know, sort of, it has an antibacterial effect. It stimulates collagen. It increases hydration. It literally heals the skin, especially with the near infrared light. It's very, very healing. So anything like a burn, like the one on your hand.
That's the yellow one, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, so it's actually, you can't see it. It's called a yellow light, but it's actually near infrared, so you kind of can't really see it. But yeah, it's incredible. And that's the thing. And the way I sort of explain it to people is I say, you know, obviously you don't have inflamed psoriasis, but that cascade of biological reactions that occur in the skin happens on everyone's skin, whether you have psoriasis or not. All that massive healing, that anti-inflammatory effect, you know, the stimulation of collagen, that everything that is happening on that person who has that awful inflamed eczema or psoriasis is happening with your skin. It's just that your before and after is just not as dramatic, but all of those health benefits are occurring regardless. And that's the thing, you know, LED is very gentle, as you say. It's one of the only treatments actually that's actually comfortable. You should try tattoo removal. That's the one that really hurts.
No tattoos, thank you.
Lucky for you, because it really, I mean, you know, when people come in for a tattoo consultation, I say to them, you know, I'm not going to lie, it hurts, you know. So, but in general, you know, other treatments are not massively uncomfortable, but then it's not like going for massage.
Before I came to you, I think I had my legs and bikini line waxed for 10 years.
Right.
The pain is on a par. It's not, in fact, actually the laser is probably less painful than waxing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I had laser in my early 20s, so, you know, over sort of sort of 28 years ago when I was waxing, and that, oh God, I once had my underarms waxed, and I was like this after, you know, it was unbelievable. And, you know, far worse than even having bikini done. But yeah, that I can't even remember what it's like having.
Well, have you ever had your upper lip threaded? Jesus Christ.
Makes you cry.
I'm never doing that again. I'm coming straight to you.
Straight to me. But yeah, so basically, the point I wanted to kind of get across is that with skin rejuvenation, it really is, it's a lifestyle. It's just like you go to the gym, you look after your body. If skin is something you want to do and you choose to look after it, it's the same. You have to put in the time as well. And I think as women are very bad at prioritizing ourselves and sort of putting time aside, but you do reap the benefits. But you have to be consistent, and you have to be committed. You know, people often say to me, "My God, you know, you've got amazing skin." And like most women, I don't think my skin's massively amazing, because we're all very critical. But yeah, sure, for my age, and you know, I do look after it, but I've been looking after it for 17 years. You know, my face has not gone in the sun since I was 30, so that's nearly you know, 18 years. I don't smoke, I hardly drink, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, of course, and I look after it. But there's always, you know, I say to people, it's because I've looked after it. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not going to happen just by renting a Flex machine for 2 weeks. But what it will do is, by having something like the Flex, especially during lockdown, you are starting to build that skin resilience, and, you know, calming the skin, getting it ready for any kind of treatments you want to do, or, you know, it will increase the product absorption. So if you are using good products at home. But yeah, and it does give you that instant kind of radiance, doesn't it? So
I've stuck mum under it, and my sister-in-law. So, and they both fell asleep as well. So let me just turn it on, because I mean, it is quite bright. So that's all three.
Yeah.
But then if you just go to blue, and it's a bit nicer. So it is quite intense when you're under it. You do feel, you know, your eyes are quite bright under it. But it's the most relaxing treatment I have had. I honestly, I fall asleep every single time, which is, yeah,
it is a lovely treatment to have. And you know, a lot of my clients, so I've been sort of renting these Flex machines, as you know, during lockdown, and some of my clients listen to podcasts, some listen to music, some do meditation under it. It's a really nice treatment to do, and LED is one of the single best things you can do for skin health. It really is. And not just so that your skin looks great, but so that your skin is actually really healthy and the best sort of possible version of your skin that it can be. You know, in London, I know that plastic surgeons, for example, when someone's had a facelift, they put them, while they're still under the anesthetic, they will put them straight under the Dermalux, you know, because because of the power of the healing. It's like your skin on speed, you know, it literally speeds up your skin's ability to heal. And so of course, after something very invasive like a facelift, you want to really calm that skin down and promote and stimulate the healing. So that's why a lot of plastic surgeons use the Dermalux for things like that. So I'm just going to check, see if we've got any questions.
Yeah, there's a couple in there. So there's one about older scars.
So it's funny because I can't see some of the thank you, your skin looks great, very glowy. I don't know if that you or me.
Too? Me, thanks.
Competition here going on. Someone's asked about, so in terms of scarring, because I did actually have some questions that came through today on the Instagram story, which and one of them was on scars. And what I would say to that, it completely depends on what the scarring is. So for example, if it is pitted acne scarring, LED is not going to do anything for that. Okay, it's just not. But if it is pigmentation scarring, so when someone's had a spot and it leaves a mark, it's sometimes referred to as PIH, so post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, and LED is fantastic for that. It's absolutely amazing. So it depends on the scar, if it, what the scar, which kind of type of scar it is, where it is on the body, the age of the person, how old the scar is. But at the end of the day, most clinics, if a clinic like mine, for example, that has various lasers, IPLs and LED, we can pretty much deal with any kind of scarring anyway. It just depends which sort of one I would pick out the toolbox to kind of, depending on the scar. So I hope that answers that. So someone asked about acne as well. How effective is it for acne? It is amazing for acne. So basically, I can't remember the year now, it was early sort of 2000s. There was a Dr. Chu or Dr. Chu, I'm never quite sure how to pronounce it. But he's an eminent sort of dermatologist in London, and he works at the Imperial College London. And he was the one who actually devised something called the N-Light laser for acne. And it basically emits like a blue light. And he literally took like a group of people, divided them in two, told them all they were going to have this amazing light treatment for their acne. But half of them, poor guys, got like a dummy light. And the other half actually got, the wavelength to treat acne with this blue light. And sure as hell, the people who got the actual laser treatment, their acne improved, tenfold. And the people who got the dummy light, even though obviously checking for placebo, they didn't respond. And so it was then that it was actually as a result of his trials that, the acne treatment was sort of born. So blue light delivered in, at an accurate sort of wavelength and in really good doses is fantastic. And Dermalux is amazing for acne. And the great thing about it as well is that you can treat all skin types. So whether you're, pale like Ali or, black skin, anyone can go under LED phototherapy. Unlike laser, where you can't, hair removal, yes, we can treat any skin types. On the Fitzpatrick scale of 1 to 6, we can treat, very pale white skin up to sort of black skin. But you can't do acne treatments on black skin using laser. And so that's why LED is fantastic for that as well.
Kerry, Kerry, what about teenagers with acne? Is it safe to use on them?
It's completely safe to use. Unfortunately, we're kind of tied to insurance, obviously, and I can't treat under 16s, but that's an insurance thing. But it is, I've got a picture of Zara, my 5-year-old, sort of under it and playing around with it. It's completely safe. So the blue light, obviously, as you know, Ali, you've got to use goggles. Yeah. It's the only one that you use goggles with, but the other lights, you don't have to use goggles. Someone said here, I used to see Dr. Chu and had the N-Light laser with him for years. Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. Yeah. So, yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So an N-Light, it's like a brand, it's a make, it's a bit like a Hoover or a Dyson, but the key thing here is that it's about using the right wavelengths to treat the right skin issues. I didn't know. You said I was treated by him until he was retired last year. I didn't actually know he'd retired. Amazing. Worked really well. Great. No, you're a great advert for this. Brilliant.
Next Instagram Live.
Yeah. Hi, Melissa. Thanks for joining. So there was a question here. Did I see you treated your melasma? I did. So I can't say I used to have melasma, because as anyone knows who has melasma, so melasma is basically irregular pigmentation on the skin. So anyone who knows anything about melasma knows that you never actually get rid of it. So I do still have it, but you just cannot see it. And it started, I went on holiday to Greece with my mum when I was 27. And I came back with a very attractive brown moustache on my upper lip, which was this pigmentation. And then about a year later, I got this splodge of pigment on my forehead. It literally looked like someone had sort of thrown paint. And then I got these strips here. And it was an absolute nightmare. So as a result, I did actually go and see a dermatologist. So this was in the days before I had a Dermalux. So this is going back, well, years. It's nearly 20 odd sort of years now. And I did actually see a dermatologist, and I got something called Hydroquinone, which is really good at fading sort of, excess pigmentation, etc. But my skin didn't react brilliant to it. And also what they failed to tell me is that, it can actually distort hair follicles on your skin. So I suddenly started sprouting these very attractive 1 centimeter black hairs on my cheekbones, which obviously, because I had melasma there, I then couldn't laser anyway. So luckily they didn't actually stay for very long, you know, like sort of, I think a couple of years later, they can't, I don't get them anymore. But yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. So I wasn't actually told about that. But yeah, the way I've got rid of my melasma is to literally never go in the sun. And when I say never, when I joke, I sometimes say, you know, that I basically behave like some day release vampire in the summer, you know, lurking in the shadows, wearing massive hats. But I'm not joking. Like, the thing with melasma is you can wear the best possible factor 50 in the universe, but it will not stop your melasma coming back. So a factor 30 will cut out 97 to 98% of the rays. Okay, a factor 50, you cannot block out any more than that. But what a 50 does is it prolongs your burn time. So even that 3% of rays getting through, the melasma will come back. And so the way I've got rid of it is by not going in the sun, wearing very high sunscreen, wearing hats, but also having regular glycolic peels and going under the Dermalux, which is great for me because I do get quite a rosy complexion. Obviously, I can't laser my cheeks, you know, for thread veins or anything like that. So I do go under. And if my skin looks good, it's because, one, I look after it. It's not actually because of laser, it's because of LED, because I can't have laser because of my melasma. So the reason I'm so passionate about Dermalux is because, oh God, what would I do? You know, if I didn't have Dermalux, I would have to grow old very disgracefully. And yeah, I'm just so grateful on a personal level because it's the only thing I can do, you know, for my skin. And it's just been life-changing. It's been amazing. So there was another question. Can you use Dermalux for scalp psoriasis? You can use it for any psoriasis, but obviously if someone had very thick hair, you know, the light needs to be able to get to the actual skin. So yeah, so depending on where it is, you might have to sort of part the hair and, you know, let the light on it. So I'm showing all my greys now. So I think Steph was watching earlier. She's my hairdresser. I'm so desperate to go and see her at HNB in Camford Cliffs. She's like the most amazing hairdresser. But yeah, my greys are definitely showing. But yeah, you'd have to sort of be able to let the light get at the skin. But quite often people with psoriasis can tend to have it around the hairline. And so yeah, it's fantastic LED for that. I'm just going to check the other questions I had come through today. So redness and flushing, I think we've kind of covered that. So yeah. For actual broken veins, laser, but for general redness and flushing, 100%.
Amazing. I will agree with that. It's sorted me out completely.
Dry, dehydrated skin. Yeah, so Dermalux is amazing for skin hydration. It just, in very simple terms, it just gets everything in the skin working and at a much faster rate. And so it definitely it increases your skin's hydration and the ability for skin to absorb more from your products as well. It really does prepare your skin for, you know, there's no point sort of investing in expensive vitamin C serums and things like that if your skin isn't ready to actually receive that product. So yeah, so it's fantastic for that as
well. Can I ask a question? How frequently, I know, you know, you've got these for hire and you'd use it every evening, right? But in the normal days as well, how frequently would you recommend coming into clinic and coming to the all singing, all dancing one?
Yeah, so again, it depends what condition that person's skin is in. So if someone, you know, was very dehydrated, very sun damaged, you know, if their skin really wasn't in a great way or a great shape, then, I mean, in any event, a course of treatment is always recommended. So I say a minimum of sort of 6 treatments where you're coming in sort of twice a week. If someone had very inflamed psoriasis, for example, I'd get them in probably 3 times a week. But yeah, it regardless of what it is or who you're treating, you do need a course. But it depends which lights you would combine for what, you know, depends what they want to have treated, how often. But ideally, you know, with some laser treatments, you're coming in once every 4 weeks. You know, with LED, it's about coming in sort of more frequently. So yeah, so, and always combine it with glycolic peels or acid peels, because the more you prepare your skin. So it's a bit like if you were to magnify your skin 20,000 times, you'd see, you know, great big flakes sitting on the surface. And what the glycolic does, or other certain acids, is they literally dissolve sort of the glue-like bond that holds the dead skin together. So instead of taking like a scrub and, you know, scrubbing your skin, which is a bit like, you know, if you had like a piece of wood with splinters on it and you got some sandpaper, that's basically what you're doing to your skin when you use scrub. So for the feet, it's fine. But anyone who knows me knows I'm not a fan of physical scrubs on the face. But what the glycolic does is, without scrubbing or causing any kind of trauma to the skin, the flakes come away, and it just allows the light to penetrate, you know, so much better. I don't know if you can see behind me, actually, I might not see it, but there's an acne photo, like a before and after. So that, normally with acne treatments, you need at least, you know, sort of 6 laser treatments, but if you combine it with glycolic, because you're getting rid of that dead skin, the light penetrates much better. It hasn't got to go through all that sort of debris sitting on the surface. So that guy on my photo only had four sessions, and it's the same with LED. The better your skin is prepared with all the sort of rubbish sitting on the surface, the better the light penetrates, which is also why
I always used to get a text off you going, remember to do this on this night before you come, because I used to I travel down from London to see Kerry. That's how much I love seeing her. I don't trust anyone else. Once I have a practitioner for something, that's it. So London to Bournemouth, and yeah, I get a reminder text going, remember to shave on this night, remember to do a peel on this night. Yes, Kerry.
Maybe it's just you I do that for, because I know.
Yeah, maybe.
Not really. No, so I mean, it's especially because I know you're traveling from a long way as well. You know, it'd be awful if you arrived and then suddenly we couldn't do the treatment for some reason. So, but yeah, you know, it's, the thing is, it's horses for courses, and depending whatever you are struggling with skin wise, however you're presenting, in a clinic like mine, I basically have sort of, you know, the tools to be able to do that. But the thing I wanted to kind of get across today is really that the magic and the power of light on the skin, and LED is phenomenal for that. So many of you probably already know, and some of you already rented the Flex machine. You can rent it at home, and one of the single best things you can do is have 2 weeks under a Flex machine to sort of prepare your skin for anything that you want to have done, but also just to get almost like the instant sort of glowy benefits from it as well. So ideally I would get you in, come under the tri-wave first, having had a peel, and then go home with the Flex. But at the moment we're kind of doing things slightly differently, obviously because of lockdown. But yeah, it's been incredible. I'm just so glad that Dermalux actually came out with a home Flex machine, because it's been life-changing for a lot of people who obviously we know we can't treat at the moment. So yeah, but look, well, thank you very much for coming on. I don't think there's any other questions. I'm just going to...
Can you use daily? I use mine daily. My goodness, yes.
Oh yes, sorry. You asked me about how often you go. So if you rented the Flex for 2 weeks, you would go under it ideally every single day. What I would say though is that if you have you know, sort of a certain amount of time, etc., don't think, oh well, I'll just do an hour and a half today because I'm not going to have, you know, time for the next 2 days. It's, your skin is a bit, think of it like your phone basically. Once you've charged the battery and it's fully charged, it won't absorb anymore, you know, you won't get any more charge. And it's the same with Dermalux. When you first lie under a Dermalux machine or the Flex, the amount of absorption of the wavelengths into your skin, I mean, the chart is like that, and then after 30 minutes it plateaus. And so you can lie under it, but you're not going to get any more benefit from it, because that is as much as it, you know, is going to absorb. So yeah, so I would say every day, if you're going to rent it for a couple of weeks, definitely every single day. I know that recently people who have rented it, and you know, people like yourself, have not managed to get under it every day, but you know, at least even if it's, you know, 4 to 5 times a week, it's fantastic.
And it's it's still a noticeable difference doing that frequency.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. I mean, gosh, 4 to 5 times a week under a Dermalux, you're going to see a massive difference. But yeah, if I will say, you know, if you can get under it every day, absolutely. I'm just looking through to see if I've missed any questions.
And can I just point out, I've only been able to get it under it 4 times this week because my sister-in-law keeps stealing it off me.
How far? Well, I don't blame her. But yeah, so anyone who is interested, do get in touch. I have one available to rent at the moment. I do have 2 machines available, but there is one currently, because the other one is rented. So yeah, get in touch.
That's my fault.
So for two weeks, I can obviously explain to you, how to use it, but it is very self-explanatory, isn't it? It's literally
it's
like,
really simple, really simple.
Really simple. Where's my little panel? I'll just grab it. So, I mean, it literally is like that. You select the lights. When you switch it on, it already has 30 minutes in there on the dial. You switch it on, you press start, and you just select the lights. And then
you fall asleep. So it's just lovely. Win-win.
And I do say to people sometimes, it's a bit like, especially people who love lying in sunshine, it is like guilt-free sun, isn't it? You can literally just like lie under it. And not only do you not have to feel guilty, but it's actually doing amazing things for your skin. That's the thing that's so great. And
I do it immediately after work. So I cleanse my skin. I don't put any toner on or anything, and then I go under that for 30 minutes, and it's just 30 minutes of relaxation, and I stick some music on, and it just de-stresses me for the day.
Yeah, it is lovely, and it's great that people can use it in sort of such different ways. Some people just think, oh, I don't want to meditate, it's not for me or whatever, but you can just lie under there, listen to music, or listen to a podcast. You can do anything. I mean, I've been known to be, sort of joining in on sort of audio meetings, and I'm lying under it and talking at the same
I know
time.
that you've definitely called me a few times when you've been lying under it.
It's where I get to make my calls, because I never get time otherwise. I think I can't lie under here for 20 minutes doing nothing. I'll call Ali, or I'll make the use of the time anyway. So but yeah, it is great. And I think, and I've said before, because I did a webinar with Dermalux, and when I said it is the single one of the best things I ever did for the clinic, and it works so well with laser. That's what I love, because obviously anyone who knows me is, I am a laser specialist. That is what I live and breathe. But LED and the Dermalux has just been phenomenal, and I personally wouldn't be able to do without it, because otherwise I'd have no skin rejuvenation available to me, but also just for what it does for my clients. So, but thank you very much. I hope I haven't missed it. If anyone does have any more questions, if we've missed any, I don't know if you're seeing different ones than I can, but do DM me. As I say, I do have one available at the moment for the next 2 weeks to rent if you're interested. But yeah, thank you very much, Ali. Are you about to go under it now?
Well, no, because I think I'm too intoxicated. So I think it's time for my 3rd rum and coke.
Okay.
It's Friday night after all. Come on.
Exactly. I've just got to get home first, though. That's all.
Yeah.
So, but I am actually going to go under it because I managed to get under it yesterday. I told David that I had some admin to do, and he was homeschooling, and I actually came in and got under the Dermalux. Luckily, he doesn't watch these Instagram live. Well, he doesn't watch these Instagram lives, so he'll be none the wiser.
Perfect then. Get under it now.
But no, I'm going to take my makeup off now and get under it before I go home. So anyway, thank you so much for jumping on, and thank you for being so honest about your skin and your, your skin journey.
And my hair removal and everything.
And your hair removal. Because I think, it does help other people to know, that we don't all have perfect skin. We have to work at it. And it's like anything, it is literally like going to the gym. If you're prepared to put the time in and the effort, you'll get, you will have the best possible version of the skin that for you. But if you don't, then, it's like going to the gym. You can't go once a year and come out with an amazing body. So Anyway, so thank you very much. I will speak
Thank
to you
you.
soon. Lovely chatting to you. And
Thanks, everyone.
all right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.